Hey guys, what's going on? T&J Performance on a beautiful Florida day. Out here working on a short bed truck, and I'm actually got the parts finally came in for to rebuild the HVAC case. But I got the HVAC case apart here. I figured I'd show you guys that I always have issues with your AC not blowing out the vents, not blowing hard. The mode controller won't work, and certain things that go wrong with these things, and why I take them apart and rebuild them before I put them in a truck that I'm getting ready to either build for myself or build for a customer. So I'm going to start with the most easiest thing. Now, this is providing that 100% that all your electronics are working behind the dash, as far as your AC controller and your wiring for your AC controller, and your mode selector switches and your blower motor switch on your AC controller are all working 100%. You verified that you have power and everything is reading correctly. You're still having issues with stuff blowing out of the vents, or not changing, or not switching, or not blowing hard. I'm going to show you a couple of reasons why. First thing, most easiest thing, a lot of people complain about AC not blowing cold, or it blows cold but it doesn't blow hard out the vents. But your heat blows fine out the vents. Most likely case is going to be is your evaporator. Your evaporator is going to be clogged, just like this one is right here. This one's actually not that bad. I've seen way worse. This one's actually been replaced by a place in Miami, so it's actually been done once. So this is a common thing with these vehicles. The evaporator doesn't go bad; it just gets clogged. Now you can sneak up in there through your blower motor vent hole, where the blower motor goes through. You can see probably half of the bottom of this, but you won't be able to see this part, but you'll be able to see the bottom, or actually it sits in there like this, I think, or something like this. I don't fucking remember, but you'll be able to see half of it anyway. And you can spray like AC coil cleaner and put a bunch of towels down on your dry passenger side floor and hose it out with a little bit of pressure. You don't want to blow too much pressure in there and bend the fins and possibly crack it. But you can clean them out. I've done them before. I've actually done it in my 1-ton black 4-door long bed crew cab, and it actually helped it out greatly. It works fine. Heater core. Most likely, if you have coolant leaking into your vehicle on the passenger side floor, this is the culprit. The heater core leaks. As you can see, this one looks like it's been replaced too. Most of them nowadays are just cheap press-on fittings. They last for a little bit, and then they start leaking once they get a bunch of vibration in them, or what have you, or those crimps fail. You can see the whole thing's crimped. So this one's been replaced. This isn't a GM part. So yeah, that's most likely the problem if you have coolant leaking into your 88 to 2000 OBS Chevy truck, or Suburban, Tahoe, Escalade, from 99 to 2000, whatever. But yeah, that's that problem. Another common problem is you get the vent motor on high, but you don't feel any volume coming out of the vents. But you can hear the blower motor cranking away. A lot of times, this right here is the air intake for the blower motor inside the cab when you have it on recirculation. As you can see, I haven't cleaned this one yet, and I didn't because I wanted to show you guys how dirty it gets. A lot of times that thing will get dirty and clogged, and your blower motor won't be able to suck up. This is like a little vent here, believe it or not, kind of like a cabin air filter that you can't replace. So yeah, that's a culprit. Another culprit is, grab the case. Actually, you can see I got it apart 3 pieces. If you look right down there on your vents, that's a rubber seal right here that goes all the way around, seals to the box and seals to the vents inside. This one's not actually all the way in. This is the heater box out of my Yukon that got wrecked, and I'm actually rebuilding for the short bed truck right there that I'm doing. So what'll happen is the vents will get a bunch of junk around the rubber, and it won't let the vent seal 100%. So what I do is I clean them off, and then I use like an Armor All based thing, or an oil based cleaner, and that way when I put it on when I put it on the rubber, it actually swells it up a little bit and makes a really good tight seal. You know, and I'll wipe it out. As you can see on the inside, I don't know if you can see it, but it gets kind of dirty in there. What else? It also could be, you know, you can hear it blowing, but it's only blowing out of the defrost, or it's blowing out of the bottom and not out of the vents. Most likely the cause is that servo right there going bad, or as you can see, there's a little deterioration on the rubber vents that go around and seal off. That one's open because it was probably in that position when I shut the truck off. But as you can see, this one's sealed pretty good and it's closed. And those drips were there. I don't know where they came from, but they were there. Also, a lot of times the foam around the top of the box where it seals to the vents goes bad, and you get really bad air leaks through here, and you'll lose a lot of volume that way. What I do is I take it off and I go buy real thick double-sided, single-sided foam, and I redo them all and put all new weather stripping and foam in here. You can stack it up too thick if you have to, if you can't find the really thick stuff. I use the real thick stuff. And as you can see, you know, I just go in there, there's a lot of crap in there, and you can't really see from the bottom here, but there's just a bunch of junk in there that gets all full of dust. You can see everything, all the dust hanging on everything. That's just from, you know, 100,000 miles of being in a vehicle and never being cleaned. So yeah, just a little overview. Oh yeah, one more thing. If your blower motor's turning slow, or you know the motor's good, you can take it out. You can see there's dirt collecting on all the fins, dirt and dust just from spinning. If you clean those off with a toothbrush, it dramatically improves the airflow through the HVAC case. If your motor's working right, and you know your blower motor's not pulling too many amps because the motor is going bad, you clean that squirrel cage and it makes a huge difference. But yeah, so you can see there's foam there, and there's some foam over here that you can change to seal up the case and make sure there's no air getting out, you know, and just tighten it up good. You don't got to crank it down, you know, and force the shit out of it, but you know, just tie it down real good, crank it down good. You can see the case splits there too in 3 pieces. I actually just have it sitting in there, so you can split the case into 3 or 4 pieces and clean it really well. And that's probably what I'm going to do with this before I put it back together. So yeah, guys. Oh, actually, you can see it's already apart. So yeah, you can see all the junk built up in there and all the dirt and everything. So yeah, I'll be cleaning everything and reconditioning the seals on the flaps. Now, if your flaps are bad or broken, they sell them. I think Dorman makes them. You can go on Amazon and Google it or whatever, search for it, and they come up. Or you can just type it in Google and they come up all the time. So you can get all those parts. If your blower motor is only working on high, most likely it's this blower motor resistor. This is what controls the low and the medium and the off. There's a relay that sits here I don't have, that has a plug in the harness. That's for your high speed fan relay. So yeah, it actually has a relay on 96 to 2000 OBS. You'll have a relay for the high speed blower motor on high, and then 88 to 94 has this, but it also has a relay pack, I think, with 3 or 4 relays. I haven't done one of those dashes in a minute, I can't remember, but I think it has 4, 1 for each speed, and then the 4th one for the high speed blower motor. Yeah, the box is a little different on 88 to 94 because the controller is different. It doesn't function like a 96 to 98. 95 is one off year. You can rewire a 95 controller plugs. You can rewire it to accept a 96 to 2000 AC controller, which are way more available and way more cheaper than a 95 1-year only AC controller for your truck. So yeah, guys, just a quick video on why your OBS truck is not blowing cold air and you've done everything and you're wondering why you're still not blowing cold air, or you're still not blowing a high volume of air, or you sounds like you're blowing a shit ton of air but nothing's coming through, that's why. So yeah, so I'm gonna clean the shit out of this, and then I'll get it all assembled, and I'll do a video once I get it back in the truck and everything's installed, and you can see you know, everything is clean and done. Till then, guys, thanks a lot. Have a great day and be safe.